So, good evening. Welcome to another show. It's going to be something different tonight. We're going to talk about, no, not Newcastle United, not the Premier League. We're talking about the Skybet Championship. So, something different tonight. And Ruda's going to help us along the way. How good are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
Obviously the championship. Who knows what's going to happen? But here we are, talking about it.
Cool. All right, because I haven't watched a lot of championship games at the moment. I would love to, but seen a couple of games. You know, you got some teams like Norwich. I'll comment on in a minute. If you like the videos, guys, could you please take a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment section down below. If you've got any questions on Ruda, just ask him far away, and he'll do his best to answer them, which is pretty good. So have problems with your banner stuff as well. There you go. Oscar down there, everything's down there. Facebook, new Twitter as well, but also got Insta as well, which I'm going to put on very soon. So, and Ruda, I looked at the league table and I can't see anyone going to catch Norwich City.
No, not now. Anyways, Norwich, just efficient, aren't they? They just are what they are. They just are the best team in the league, just by far. They've got the best manager in the league. They've got probably the best squad, probably the best player in the league as well. And it's just efficient by Norwich. I spoke about this on full time, didn't I? Norwich executing their plans to perfection. I'm not really surprised. They are here at the moment because they just are the best team by far. They are definitely Premier League quality, and I stand by my opinion. They are going to have it. They are going to give it a better go in the Prem. Before, unlike last time in last season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just you look at what they won 25 league games at the moment, drawn 9 and lost 5. They scored 57 goals and exceeded 28 at the moment in time. And no wonder they're 5 points clear from Watford, 15 points clear from the third place team in Brentford. They're playing tonight against Birmingham City at home. And I just can't see Norwich. I think Dana Farker is the best manager in the Championship, a country mile. This guy plays free-flowing football, easy on the eye. He plays 4-2-3-1. And, yeah, Pookie again, banging the goals. And, yeah, what else can I say?
Yeah, it's... but we've seen this with Norwich before. They've looked promising in the Championship. They've gone up. People think they're going to do well, but then they just fall off a cliff and get relegated. So I think Norwich fans are not getting the hopes up too high just now. But Daniel Farker has to get the money in the summer window if Norwich want to stay up in the Premier League and they want to do well for the future.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I think they're still at this time on Farker, like you said, on full time. He's going to get full backing, getting English players as well, just to help them sort of a bit of backbone this time. So, yeah, I think Norwich is going to be impressive, the best team. I'll talk about Watford as well. And they've changed the manager again and early in the season. And then they got in the Spaniard. And the guy is just absolutely, he seems to be doing okay. And Watford second place, I think they're good enough to go up this season. Surely they're just turning. They drew the other day. They drew against Supporter. And listen, I think if you look at the Watford league games they got left, it looks pretty tough, but I think they're going to come through.
Yeah, they've got in the last 2 games they've got Brentford away and Swansea at home. If Watford want to go up comfortably, they've got to at least have a 4-point gap there, because Brentford away is not an easy game and Swansea's never an easy game. So I think they've got to target the likes of Luton and Millwall in their remaining fixtures and get the 6 points there, and probably pick up the 3 points at home to Reading. They've also got Norwich away. It's a very tough run in for Watford. I slightly worry if they'll run out of steam, because they've been winning tight games quite a lot. I know they've got a quite potent attacking line with Ismail Assar, probably the best probably the quickest player in the championship. They've got a very, very good defense. And then they can just click it on any time, and they could just turn it on and win any game 2-0, 3-0. But it's going to be tricky for Watford. It's the thing with Watford is if they're 2 points clear with Brentford away and Swansea at home left, I wonder for I worry for Cisco, because if they don't go up, I think Cisco might leave, because Watford. We know the Watford owners. They are they just are like they don't give managers time, and I think this is a very important phase for Watford, because they just have to get promoted.
They have to, otherwise he'll be sacked as well. But he's playing good, some cracking stuff as well. And they've beaten you lot by 6-0. It could and should have been 10, if I'm being honest with you, you know what I mean? So
I don't want to know, John. I don't want to know. Can we move on, please? Can we move on?
Doing my show. Hey, so move along that then. Talking about Brentford as well, and like I said, they're playing tonight against Birmingham, and
they're playing right now at the moment.
7 o'clock kickoff as well, and I only known that as well. I didn't know what they're playing, but I mean, Ivan Toney. What can I say about the guy? The guy is just absolute lit, and he's been scoring goals. And why on earth did he sold him to Peterborough and then on to Brentford? Why? I just don't get it at all. I mean, it just goes to show our transfer policy is a joke, and if the Brent's going to go up, I think it's going to be down to Toney.
Yeah, he's got 28 goals this season. Glenn Murray, who's a top scorer, has got 30. So, in my opinion, he's going to easily beat that. He's going to get 32, 33 goals. He's just so efficient. He's such a penalty box striker. It reminds me a bit of Alan Shearer in terms of in around the box, a bit tricky, but just gets the job done. And then it's also his like half chances. He gets a half chance, he buries it. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need a complete chance. And he's just so efficient, and it's scary at times how efficient he is. He scored a goal against Bristol City where there was a ball in the box. It was a rubbish cross, but he dug it out and put it into the back of the net with such pace. It was scary at times how good he is. And he's just very good. And if Brentford don't go up, he's going to get a move to the Premier League. Back to Newcastle, I don't know, but he is going to get a move to the Premier League.
Yeah, I think let's hope so. I love that. I'm back tomorrow, sort of thing. No questions whatsoever. Take him back tomorrow in a heartbeat. But at the end of the day, it's going to cost something like between 25 and 30 million pounds. If we get relegated, Ash ain't going to pay 30 million quid. There's no way of that. And I've got Jay De Silva as well. He's quality as well. I quite like him as well.
Jay De Silva, the left back of Bristol City.
Yeah. Is De Silva? Is that De Silva from Brentford? And
Josh De Silva. Josh De Silva.
Well, that's the one. Name wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a De Silva at Bristol City who's not as good but pretty good. But yeah, Josh De Silva is a great player. I think he's injured at the moment. But I think he's been injured for 3 or 4 games. But he's a really good player, and he as well. If Brentford don't go up, is probably gonna leave.
Yeah. Which is a shame, really. But he's been a good player in the past. But hey, what can you say? Yeah, I mean, got Brentford. I mean, Swansea City's lost their way at the minute, haven't they? I don't know how many defeats they had. I think it's 4 defeats in a row. Swansea, is it? So
4 defeats in a row. It's 4 defeats in a row, and it's absolutely maddening. 2 last-minute goals in their last 2 games against the Birmingham away. They conceded a last-minute penalty, harsh penalty, but still. How in God's name did they not win that game? They had about 20 chances where they should have scored. And then at home to Preston, they just look lethargic. They look slow, and it just begged belief how bad Swansea were in that game. They need a proper a proper centre forward. Andre Ayew's very good, but he's not a centre forward. I don't know where it's going wrong. They were winning tight games 1-0, 2-1, last minute penalties, stuff like that. Getting a bit of luck as well. But it's just, I think that bit of luck has gone, and now Swansea have definitely just fallen off a cliff. I could genuinely see them dropping out of the playoffs at this rate because Bournemouth are only 4 points behind Swansea, and Bournemouth are on an absolute roll as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember Nottingham Forest from last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I think they were 3 points clear. Last game of the season. Swansea was 7th. Forest were 5th. They had a 6-goal. They had a
6-goal swing, didn't they?
Yeah, six goal swing. Yeah. In the last minute, they conceded the 4th goal, and then Swansea they scored in the last minute as well against Reading to make it 4-1.
Yeah.
And then they got into the playoffs, and now that same thing's happening to Swansea. Now this is I'm comparing this because Nottingham Forest also won tight games 1-0, 2-1, and so are Swansea, and it's crumbling for them, and it'll crumble for Forest as well. Easily could see them doing a Forest.
Yeah, I could see that happening. If they do start winning games, then I'm afraid they're going to get caught out, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. But let's hope I'm the Swansea because they need to get in the Premier League. They have invested quite well as well. We've got Freddie Rubin as well, plays in Newcastle as well. So therefore, then you look at the other teams. You got Barnsley, Reading, Bournemouth, and I wouldn't rule out Cardiff out yet. But out of those 3 teams, I mean, Reading had a brilliant start to the season. Stopped the table for quite a while, and then they kind of lost the way, and now they're 6th in a minute. And Barnsley are playing fantastic stuff. Reading's playing good football. Bournemouth, like you said, I think they probably found a way. But Bournemouth, if you look at it, right, they do score goals. You got players like Stan Stanislas, 10 goals this season. You got Gruenfeld, 11 goals this season. Solanke, 12 goals this season. They do score goals, but they also can see goals as well, Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's been the problem all season under Jason Tindall when he got and during his last games. He was they scored. I think they scored 2 against Barnsley, but they then lost 3-2 in the second half. They score loads of goals. That's not the problem. Their defense is on paper is a Premier League quality defense. They've got Lloyd Kelly, they've got Steve Cook, they've got good players there. They just need to put in a consistent run of games where they keep clean sheets and perform well. And I think that could be key because they've got Premier League quality players or ex-Premier League quality players at Bournemouth, and if it clicks like that, they're going up because there's nobody stopping them because they've got superb attacking quality, and when their defense is clicking, it really does click, and they really do perform well. So I think Bournemouth is like a real underdog here because a few weeks ago I was really questioning them and really questioning if they could get into the playoffs, but now I think I'm banking on them to win the playoffs if
they click.
If Swansea drop out or somebody like that drop out.
Yeah. I think Bournemouth got Premiership experience as well. Premier League players got the experience and they know what got what it takes. And I've got a first comment today. I've got Brentford on bet and Ruda. Your lads better put in the performance tonight. And that's Brentford. He's a Bristol City fan.
I'm a Bristol City fan, yeah.
And also got Lee as well, even though, hope you're okay. Is Lewis Gibson on loan at Reading?
Yes, he is on loan. I'm not. He's on loan from Everton. He's not played a lot of games, but he's played. I think he's played the last few games. He played at Barnsley. He played at Derby, so he's played the last few games. But I think that's because McIntyre has not been fit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Omar Richards not been fit, but yeah, I think he's a decent player, but he can definitely go to another club if he wants game time.
Yeah, he's still young though, and he's sort of thing, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But one of these days, if he turns it out sort of thing, he may come back to Newcastle. You just never know. But if I was Lewis Gibson, stay at Reading, mate. You know what I mean? Don't come back to Newcastle. Your career be knackered before you even get started. But yeah, I mean, you look at the other teams there. I mean, I think they're all playing on the beach. Got teams like Millwall, Borough, Stoke, QPR, Luton, Bristol City, even Forest. I think they're all playing just to play on the beach at the moment in time. I just don't think they're going to crash in, sort of thing. But the Championship is such a tough league to get out, though. Do you know what I mean? And we've been there twice, and we got it both times as champions. But if we ever go there again, I just don't think we're going to get back up again.
I think, people are saying that Bruce here, will he get you back into the Premier League? He might. He might. You never know. He might just bring in Championship quality players into Newcastle and really, really attack the league, because we've seen that before with Bruce. And he has done well at times, and it has worked. It's just if he can work it, because if Bruce becomes the Bruce currently at Newcastle and just a bit done, just a bit I want to get out of here, it's going to turn very sour. And saw that Wednesday, and we're seeing that again at Newcastle.
Wow. Could be right there, could be right. But, I mean, if Steve Bruce does stay at Newcastle, even takes us down, I wouldn't trust him at all whatsoever, sort of thing. I wanted him out before he went in. So I've always said that. But we'll see what happens on that one. I've got Tom James here. Which club have you been a mere so far this season? He'll say Barnsley.
I'd probably say Barnsley as well. I mean, but you know what? My answer is Barnsley, but I'll go someone different. I'll say Nottingham Forest. I'd say they've had such a huge drop off that I've been very shocked. But yeah, Barnsley. I mean, relegation battle last year, staying up on the final day, relying on Luton to win. Relying on Blackburn to lose at Luton, and stuff like that. It's just utter madness. Just last minute, last kick of the game at Brentford, who are chasing the player, who are chasing the top two. West Brom are drawing, so Brentford need a win to get into the top two. Luton are winning, so that means Barnsley need a win at Brentford to get out of the relegation zone. Wigan are drawing, so that means Fulham can't get into the top two. It's all just a complete and utter madness.
It's a mad league.
Yeah.
It's a mad league. End of the day, anyone could just get out of that league. Someone's going to be surprised to get out of the league. Do you know what I mean? I did expect Barnsley to be there, right? I did expect Reading to be there as well after a cracking start they've had this season. I mean, Bournemouth, I expect to be thereabouts, but at this moment, I just don't think it's happening at the moment in time. But I think they're getting the playoffs somewhere down the line. I've got James getting Steve Bruce's failed with Villa in the Championship. You cannot get
that is very true though. But Villa, it was slightly different with Villa because the fans were very, very, very frustrated with the previous manager. I can't recall his name right now, but with the previous manager, they were very frustrated.
Di Matteo came first. Villa was blue.
I think it was Di Matteo. I'm not too sure, but they were not happy, and I think Bruce, guided them from around relegation zone of the Championship to about mid-table, 12th, 11th, I think, and then. Next season, I think the Villa owners didn't really give Bruce that much money. They gave him a few players, but I think it was Bruce who brought Jack Grealish from the academy into the first team and gave him a few chances. Because I think he realised the potential in the academy and brought through some players. But then he didn't get into the playoffs in the end, and then the cabbage thing happened. And from there on, it's gone downhill. But yeah, and then after that, Dean Smith comes in. He doesn't do too well in the first few games, but then shoots them up the league into the playoffs, and then guess what?
Done it.
Yeah, they're getting into the Premier League. So yeah, it's an interesting one with Bruce at Villa, but it was slightly different than people portray it.
Wow. It is what it is, and he's done it. He's done 6 months' work. Steve Busen still will not get Villa up in the Premier League. There's no way. Bello, just apologies for you. I thought he's a Brentford fan. Sorry, mate. Thought I'd come to hear a bit about the Championship scene as we might be in next year. Then I've got James again. Have you watched much of Swansea this season? And if you saw, which he has, what do you make of Freddie Woodman?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I've not watched loads of Swansea. I've watched most of Bristol City, obviously. But yeah, every time I've watched Swansea, they looked a bit pathetic in possession. They just don't look like they know what to do with it. But they somehow get away with it every time. And in the last 4 games, the luck has not been on their side. Freddie Woodman. I said this on Paul's channel. I don't rate him personally because I feel like he's mistake prone because he has got that mistake in him. He needs a protection in front of him with the 3 centre backs. That's why there's been a solid base and then Swansea can build from that. Because Woodman's not bad. He's not a bad keeper, but he's not as good as people portray him. Like at Newcastle. I feel like if you keep Lascelles and Fabian Schär for the next season, and Dubravka leaves, and Woodman comes in, I think you'll be fine because you've got Lascelles and Schär in front of Woodman. But if all of your centre backs who are decent leave, and you're stuck with Freddie Woodman in goal, I think you'll struggle because defensively, anyways, because he is pretty incompetent if there's no protection in front of him, because otherwise he's very mistake prone, and we saw that when Swansea are chasing a game, Woodman normally just goes mad because he doesn't know what to do because there's constantly long balls, and then he just doesn't know what to do because he's so nervous. He panics every time. We saw that firsthand against Bristol City, where he has the ball. He just has to punt it up the pitch because Swansea are losing, and then he passes it straight to a Bristol City player who taps into the back of the net.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not good. If he's giving marks out of 10 for Freddie Woodman, how many marks out of 10 would you give him?
I'd say a 6, and maybe a 6.5, because at the end of the day, he's kept a lot of clean sheets in the Championship, and that's respectable. If you've had any impact on that or not, it doesn't matter. You've kept a lot of clean sheets. For that reason, I'll give him a 6.5. But he's not convinced me a lot this season because he really needs to improve. Otherwise Newcastle might struggle next season in the Championship if Woodman is your keeper.
Sure. Things if Dubravka goes, I think Darlow will stay. But next season, if Dubravka does stay, I think Darlow will go. But we have to see what happens on that at the end of the season. But as things stands, we could be fine just. And look at the bottom of the table, right? You got teams like Wickham, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham. They're the bottom 3, and they're 6 points adrift away from Birmingham, then Coventry, Derby, Huddersfield, Blackburn, Preston. Now, looking at the minute, I think for me, Wickham, I think they'll probably go. I think Sheffield Wednesday may struggle. I hope to stay up because they're a big club, and you can't have Sheffield Wednesday in League One. You just can't. And then Rotherham, well, they could be a bit up and down, like hitty missy, but they're in the bottom 3 for a reason. But so, who do you think is going to go down, mate? I mean, do you think those 3 teams I just mentioned are going to go?
I've absolutely no idea. I just don't know. Who is actually going to go down? If you see at Wickham's recent form, they've got 10 points in the last 5 games. That's playoff form. That's top 2 form, even. That and then Wednesday, last night, beat Cardiff, who are chasing the playoffs 5-0.
Wow.
I don't know where this league is actually like formed because it's so mad. And then Rotherham, who are it's slightly more confusing with Rotherham because they've got so many games in hand, but they've also got. But then Rotherham's fixtures, they've got Huddersfield, who are in the relegation battle. They've got Coventry and Birmingham, which is massive, just massive, because they are literally above them. But then they've also got teams on the beach in mid-table, like QPR, Borough, Blackburn, and Luton. So it's so hard with Rotherham, but with Coventry and Birmingham, I think Coventry will be fine because they've got a solid base and they've got good home form. I think Birmingham will be just fine. So that means Rotherham, Wickham, and Sheffield Wednesday will be relegated. But I think Birmingham will be fine because they've got Lee Bowyer now. And I think Lee Bowyer will get the best out of the squad. But yeah, it's very hard with all of them because if Rotherham win two out their 3 games in hand, and suddenly the race is back on, who knows? Who knows what happens?
Anything can happen. That championship's a mad league. I got goal commentator. I got Lee. It was all from Lee. Remember when Woodman made his debut for Newcastle against Luton? He came out of the box when Luton were attacking. If I can remember correctly, they scored. Did Luton score?
I don't know.
I don't think he did. I think we beat Luton by 2-0. I think we know all that, but could be wrong on that one. Double check that. Do you think Adam Armstrong is another player who's overrated? Plays for Blackburn Rovers. And he's rated at £25 million.
He's not worth £25 million, but I'm not going to use the word overrated because because it's unfair on players. But because pundits and fans are rating him, it's not. I'm not going to do that. Is he as good as people classify him? Probably not, because when Blackburn have needed him, he's not really been there. When Blackburn are winning 3-0, he adds the 4th. When Blackburn are winning 4-0, he adds the 5th. When Blackburn are winning 2-1, he adds the 3rd. He doesn't. He's never a game changer. He always thrives when Blackburn are playing well. And that's usually because of Harvey Elliott. So go figure. Harvey Elliott, if he's playing well, Blackburn play well, so that means Armstrong plays well.
Sure.
Blackburn are a funny team, and if Armstrong plays well, it's probably because the others are playing well.
Fair enough. I mean, he's got 19 goals this season, 3 assists, and he's having a cracking season with the club. And if he might get a Premiership move next season, just don't know. Who knows? And I got Lee here. Didn't Sheffield Wednesday start the season off with a points deduction? They got 12 points deduction, am I correct? And then they got them back, didn't they?
They got a 12-point deduction at the start of the season. They appealed the 12-point deduction, and then they halved then they made it a 6-point deduction instead. And then they sacked Gary Monk the day after that. And then after a few more games, after 10 games, I think, after they sacked Monk. Sorry. They sacked Pulis. Wednesday just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. It's very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how they get on in League One next season, because will Darren Moore stay? Will he stay? Because he's done a decent job so far to keep up with Rotherham and keep up with Coventry and Birmingham. I'm not too sure. Wednesday are a funny team. They can turn it on their day, but again, it's just that 6-point deduction which just killed them. If you add 6 points on, Wednesday will be out of the relegation zone on goal difference. Because Birmingham got a -21 goal difference, and that could just be the key. But it's dark at Wednesday because the fans have gone through a lot recently, and and the owners messed them up completely with the sackings and financial decisions as well.
Yeah, not good. It is a mess, that club at the minute. It really is a mess. And I mean, if Steve Bruce was still at Wednesday, he could have done good bits there. Do you know what I mean? But they'd always take Steve Bruce back if they want to. Open to fast.
They probably would if that Newcastle thing didn't happen, because if he was sacked by Wednesday, because Chansiri did something, the owner did something, I think Wednesday would have him back, but he resigned and then he took the Newcastle job. But if Wednesday fans forget that, they'd happily have him back, I'd say, because he was building something there. He had Bannon, he had Reach, he had different players doing well, and then it all came together, and then just he left, and then they exploded after that.
Oh dear, that's not good. Not good at all. Well, they got the £4 million. Where's that £4 million went to? I wonder. Got Claire Williams on. She's a big Man U fan. She loves my channel. Good evening to you, Claire. Hope you're okay. I still want your cat though, Snorri. I still want her. It's got to be negotiable, pet. That I love teasing her cat as well, sort of thing. She's got a lovely cat called Snorri. She's lovely. And I'm doing my best to get her, sort of thing, you know what I mean? But she's a big Man U fan. She loves my channel. And please follow her on Twitter. And she always chats football. So I always got James again. Did Carlos Carvalhal do a decent job for Wednesday? I thought he did, but he just could not get them out of the championship, though. That's the thing.
He had 2 playoff pushes, 2 playoff campaigns, and ultimately failed. And as soon as Chansiri realised the playoffs not gonna happen again, and then he sacked him. I think the main reason he did get into the playoffs twice is because of the money Chansiri spent on the squad. He brought in completely and utterly useless players who didn't even start games for millions of pounds. I think he brought in Fernando Forestieri. He brought in Nui Hu, the striker. They brought in Jordan Rhodes from Norwich. For these players who are pretty old for a lot of money, and then they didn't work out initially, and then as soon as the money ran out, he knew Carvalhal was not gonna do well, and then sacked him, and then brought in Steve Bruce, who was a much more experienced manager in the Championship, and just stabilised them and put them in mid-table, because he knew he couldn't get out of the league unless he had more money.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, at Wednesday, right, that football club should be in the Premier League. I'm not going to lie, because at the end of the day, I'm not being funny, but they always got 40,000 capacity at the club. And listen, when they're going to get in the Premier League, I just do not know. But
not anytime soon.
A long damn time. I mean, Sheffield United at the moment are levels above Wednesday at the moment. I'm not going to lie to you. But got Claire again. Oh, thanks, John. You're a legend. Claire, so are you. Great idea for us, short and neat. Something different, something fresh, something new. And yeah, got Anuruddha as well. He's a championship expert as well. He's only 13. Please smash the stick a like on the video, smash a, and also subscribe to my channel as well. And also subscribe to Anuruddha's as well. He's got some good ones going up. Even John and guys, you lot won't go, dude. I've been telling these for months. Doubt, I hope you're correct. And let's hope you're right. But 3 more wins to keep us in the league. I've got Matthew here. Hope you're doing well. John, we have to keep up the good work. And you are spot on. Matthew, thanks so much indeed for that. James, how well do you think Norwich will do in the Premier League? I don't think we'll go straight back doing again. And we'll back Daniel Farker. We spoke about this, haven't we, earlier on, top of the show. And we said as well on Full Time on Sunday that the board are going to back him this time.
If they back him, that is. I think I don't know with the Norwich board, because they might just gobble up all the parachute payments. Because they still will get the parachute payments for 2 years. They also get the Premier League TV money as well. They might back Daniel Farker, and if they do, I think they'll have a much better chance of staying up. I'm not sure if they will stay up, because I don't know the teams yet who will go up and who will go down. So I think they'll have a much better shot at staying up, because they've executed the plan, to perfection. And if they keep it going, I think they will have a much better chance of staying up than last time.
Yeah, I think they will. The thing is, though, if they stay up this season, right, Norwich do come up. If Norwich is going to stay up, who's the thing who go down in the 2021-22 season? It'll probably be us, because I can see it's going to be the same crap like it has been this season. Let's be real about it. But I've got Clay again. Who do you think is going to get promoted from the Championship? For me, I'm going to say Norwich, Watford, and I think Bournemouth are far away. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth.
Okay, I'm not going to give a prediction. I'm going to give a hunch. I'm fairly confident. I'll say Norwich will go up. That's a prediction. That's probably going to happen. I'd say as a hunch, Watford will go up.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, if Brentford can get that act, if Brentford can get that act together, Brentford can easily turn it on and do well. And they could easily go up, but I'll say Brentford, because they have good players and they could easily turn it on at any day.
Yeah, I forgot about Brentford as well, but I'll go for experience, and I think it'll be Bournemouth in a way, which is fair enough. I mean, end of the day, I think you got your three there, and let's hope you're correct. I got James getting Norwich have some decent players, like Cantwell, Aarons, and Krul. If they strengthen, they have a decent shot of staying up. Max Aarons, for me, is the best right back in the Championship by a country mile for me.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, and it's just if they add Premier League players, if they just add players, like Sheffield United did at the start of the season, just add Championship level players, and I'm not sure if they'll do well, because they're just adding Championship quality to Championship quality players. So they need to add Premier League players. We saw what Leeds did at the start of the season. They added Rafinha, they added Robin Koch, they added Diego Llorente. They strengthened the team. Llorente, and they added to the team that was there in the first place, which got them up. So if they can add a solid more solid defense, better holding midfielder, and then maybe a better player than Cantwell, who's had his moments, but who's not been great this season, and keep Buendia, I think Norwich will definitely be much better than last time.
Yeah, I totally agree. We just have to see what happens on that one there. But excuse me, I still think Norwich to do well next season. I really do. I think they'll probably get lower mid-table if they do come up. I got Dowell again, Everton fan. Only team in the Championship that has blown it is Swansea. I'd have to agree there. That's the last 4 games. Don't look great. James, Nigel Pearce done a decent job at Bristol City so far. I think they'll do decent next season and possibly finish in the playoffs. I spoke to a City fan today, and what I'm hearing, that apparently your owner and Nigel Pearson have you met face to face? That's what I was told, because apparently he's in Guernsey, and apparently got out because of the COVID. That's what I was told today, but I don't know if you heard this, but might be new to you. But apparently they haven't met face to face.
Wow. Surprised Steve Lansdown's done that, because if that is true, I'm fuming if that is true, but gonna keep my powder dry on that one. But
yeah, I could be wrong. Don't quote on that. I was told that today, and the thing is, that is true.
But I was told a few weeks ago they were in a meeting together. That Steve Lansdown, John Lansdown, Mark Ashton, and Nigel Pearson. They were in a meeting together, discussing their future. I don't know. That could be wrong. You could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's just probably made it up, something I don't know, but I definitely invest in that one as well for you, so I can do it. But they need to keep Pearson on, because you don't want to mess up. If you mess him about, he'll walk.
He's already going to walk at this rate. What are we doing on the pitch? Because those players last night at Coventry were an absolute disgrace. They didn't deserve to put on that City badge. They didn't deserve respect of the fans. They don't deserve fans paying £10 each game just for us to lose every single time we play and not be confident that our team can put a performance in and give 100%. Because Newcastle fans have turned on players when they're not giving 100%. Team fans will turn on players when they know they don't care. And half of them yesterday, more than half of them, didn't care. They didn't give a monkeys at all. They half of them want to leave, especially Jeju, who's up top. Just want to leave. They just want to get out of there. And I can't blame them, but I also can't respect their professionalism for just getting through the period. Oh, Norwich have gone 1-0 up. Oh God. But yeah, they just have to keep it. They just have to keep going, because otherwise they will completely lose respect if they want to find another club, because they know their attitude will be poor.
Exactly. They need to get it out very, very quickly. If they don't, they're going to be absolutely knackered. I got Matthew here. Even John reckon if you manage to stay up, you should treat yourself a chicken korma, since you all know how stressful it is to be a Newcastle fan. And Claire said, well said, Matthew. And GM said, John, would you let Joe Litton call around for some chicken korma? I don't think he understands what it means. Wow. I got Matthew again. I think this season championship 3 teams will be promoted, and Norwich, Watford, and Barnsley. We better get Thomas thanking if they don't go up. James, it's all about the crest on the front of the shirt and not the name on the back. Okay, fair enough. I think it's correct there. And if you do that, they can remember your name at the back of the shirt. And Paul, Joe, how many sets of brothers have you played for Newcastle, and how many can you name? Well, you got the Longstaffs, obviously, yeah. Oh man, it's a hard one. You have to go back years. That is, wow. All I know is the Longstaffs. I'm not going to lie there. Do you know what I mean? But if anyone knows that, just drop it down the comment sections down below and just tell us, man. Because that is a very good question, Paul. You got a stump there. Thanks very much for that. But we come back to that. I'll have a little think about it. Yes, Sammy Obies. Yes, Sammy and Shola. Yeah, the 2 Longstaffs. Who else is there? There's another one in there. There's another one as well, man. I have to think of that in a minute, but it'd be very, very, very interesting.
I have absolutely no idea.
No idea. Ain't gonna lie. So yeah, do smash the likes up and stick a subscribe if you're new as well. Also subscribe to Aderuda's channel as well. And we've got one here, Paul, George Robledo, Ted Robledo, the Kennedys, Alan Keith Kennedy, Ron and Chris Guthrie, Peter and Chrissy Reeve, Stephen and Gary Colwell, Jamie and Steve McLean. I'll tell you a story about Jamie in a minute, Romana and Lalava. Yeah. Well done, Paul. Well done, mate. I was stumped.
Luar plays for Luton right now.
Yes,
in the
championship. He's still doing it, and he's still doing it. I've got this story about Jamie McLean, right? Under Bobby Robson. He played a friendly, right? Not in the reserves, right? I think it's in the back 2002 season. And basically, he's got to get booked. So the referee tells him, what's your name, lad? He said, Father Christmas. So the referee took it the wrong way. He just gave him a straight red. That's brilliant. Sort of thing. He wasn't funny at all. He wasn't very funny at all, sort of thing. So he basically fined him 2 weeks' wages, and he just said to him, "Don't do that again." You know what I mean? Just be straight to the referee. So he got a 3-game ban for that. We could have done with him because he had players who were injured at the time. We could have done with him, but look, he just didn't quite make it in Newcastle. He had a 1-man-of-the-match performance. I think it's against Arsenal in the FA Cup. I thought he was outstanding that game, but it is what it is. And don't forget, you got Seam and Luke de Jong as well. Luke de Jong's doing bits at Sevilla sort of thing as well. So It's doing okay there. Yeah, so you said just to have a quick chat about League One as well. I don't know if you watched the game between Peterborough and Sunderland yesterday. I thought that was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. I mean, any game involving Lee Johnson will have about 500 passes because that's what they will do because they will pass the ball. Peterborough, it was a good point for Sunderland in the end because they went 1 down and then they just had to regroup a bit and then they got that Aidan McGeady wonder strike. It was such a good goal.
Superb goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then from there on, I think it's a good point for Sunderland because even though Pompey won, they know that Peterborough drew, and then I think now that they've both of them have dropped, Sunderland and Peterborough, and then Hull have won. I think Hull might just drag away just a little bit, and then just keep going from there on. But if Sunderland can keep going with that superb, just incredible run, they definitely can make a push against Hull because Hull have got some mech fixtures coming up. They could slip up in 1 or 2 of those. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Hull and Peterborough get on because if Sunderland keep their form up, I think they're definitely going to catch one of them.
Yeah, I think one of those two is going to get promoted anyway. I think it's going to be Hull City for me, Peterborough, and I think Sunderland found a way as well. So yeah, I think those two is going to go up. We probably have a North East derby next season as well. I hope not. But I reckon against Sunderland's been poor. We haven't beaten for the last 7 games. But one of these days we'll beat them. And I'm just going to be celebrating. Because I want to beat them up. Still, I've got James here. What do you make of Max Power's celebration against Oxford on Friday? I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see it either.
So tell us what happened there. And John, how many Chileans footballers has played for Newcastle United? Well, you mentioned 2 there. You got Clemson Cunha as well. And is it Diego Gavion? He was a Paraguayan, wasn't he? So, yeah. So, as far as I know, it's 3. As far as I know, so it's to Robelio brothers, and you got Clemson Cunha as well. Which, don't get us wrong. I think he's a decent player in his time. He just runs around in the midfield at times. Nothing fancy. Sunderland's manager is a former Bristol City manager, that's Lee Johnson. I think he'd do well at Sunderland. I really do. And he'd be licking his chops when he plays against us. If anyone asks him what's the derby wins up here, he better find that very, very quickly because the fans let him know about it.
I've got a Lee Johnson article there with this picture on it. So yeah, that's just yeah. Got a picture of him there.
Yeah, he did. Listen, he did okay. I mean, he just didn't quite get you there, though, didn't he? Just didn't quite get you there. And
yeah, he did a good job. And any manager that takes you from the relegation zone ish to near the playoffs and challenging for promotion, I think he's done a good job. But he sold one too many important players because. He sold Webster in his final season. He sold Brownell in the middle of last season. I mean, to replace Webster, he brought in Baker from the youth, and it was a very good move. To replace Brownell, he bought a striker in Naki Wells, who's a very good striker, but it's not Brownell's replacement, who's a midfielder.
Yeah. How much did he cost, Naki Wells? Did he cost something like 5 million?
Yeah, he cost 4.25 million plus add-ons, because we had to pay QPR for cutting short his loan deal at QPR, so we could buy him from Burnley. I think it was like, in total, I think it was about 6 million. I'd say. So that's very good money, and
Mark Ashton is the chief exec. And he just wants to sell players done if he thinks the money is right. And he's just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it sort of thing. And it's a self-sufficient club now, Bristol City. Do you know what I mean? You just buy them young and then you just sell them for profits. Do you know what I mean? And
it's not Mark Ashton's fault. We've not got insane amounts of money like Watford and Bournemouth and Norwich do when they come down from the Premier League. Or even Cardiff do. We've not got an insane amount of money. So I think the only other option that teams like a Bristol City and a Preston and a Brentford, who've not got the parachute payments. I think it's to bring in youth, trust youth, sell them for big amounts of money, and then reinvest in the squad again, because that's really the only option. Otherwise, you're going to really struggle and are going to be down there, and going to be relying on a little amount of quality, which is not good at all. That Webster sale, when we sold him for 25 million, I was laughing out loud because I was thinking he's not worth 25 million.
Wow.
And then I saw him at Brighton. And then in his first season at Brighton, I was like, Jesus Christ, this man's worth 50 million. Like, we sold him for 25, and I was laughing. I was like, no, get 50 million for him. Can we request him back, please? Because bloody hell, he's been good at Brighton, but
you mugged them off. You mugged them off, didn't you? 25 million, mugged them off.
Yeah, but he's playing like prime Maldini at Brighton this season. He's been so good. Unfortunate with the injury, but he's been so good at Brighton. It's quite unfortunate that we couldn't get a bit more amount of money for him. Otherwise, we could have got proper good striker to replace him, and trusted Baker at centre back. But yeah. Slightly disappointed that he didn't stay, because I think if he did stay, I think we would have gone up that season. I think it was
decent.
Yeah.
Decent player. I won't keep it too long, but I just got a couple of comments as well. Maybe one in a minute. But we've got Darryl, Everton fan. That question around the broadcast was a great question. Was it at the Longstaffs and De Jongs? Apology if wrong. You got those two, right? You got the Amiobis, Roberto, you got McLean's, you got the Kennedys as well. You know, there's a few as well. And for Newcastle over the years, you had Peter, Chris With, you had the Coldwells, Stephen and Gary. You've got Lamana, Kinsenga. You know, there's quite a few, isn't there, sort of thing, you know? There's quite a few bros play for Newcastle United. But like I said, sort of thing, some of them made it, some haven't made it. So, and that's the way it is at Newcastle. So, yeah, I mean, just I got to watch a couple of championship games, like, you know, especially in, if they get promoted or not, do you know what I mean? But I still think it's better for Birmingham at the moment. And they make it a tougher bet at the moment. So that'd be good for Norwich at this moment in time. Norwich are winning at the moment. And let's hope that next season, that year lot, get in the playoffs at least, because your fans deserve that. You deserve it.
Yeah, but it's just if Pearson stays. Because if Pearson stays, I'm very confident that if he builds a new squad, and then we improve from there. But Norwich have gone 2-0 up. But yeah, it's going to be all dependent on if Pearson stays. But I'm very, very, very worried for next season if he doesn't stay, and we have to look for a manager again, because that would just be so many managers at once, and then just create chaos. I'd say I'd even go as far as saying if Pearson doesn't stay, we could go down next season, because under Holden, we look like we were a relegation side. Pearson came in, won the first 2 games, stabilised, stopped the rot, then moved on. We're not going to go down this season, but...
No, I don't think you will.
Well, we'll finish mid-table. I think we'll finish about 14th and 13th, thereabouts. Could even knock down a bit further, but...
No, because the season there, City stay in the Championship. Stay in the Championship, and then next season, if Nigel's still there, he will build, and I hope he does. And, you know, so, yeah, just one more question or two before you go. Are you going to go back to Bristol City next season when the fans are back?
Absolutely, but it's just that if Pearson leaves, I will not go. I will genuinely boycott Bristol City, because that would just be an absolute disgrace. If Pearson stays, I'll buy a season ticket. It's just if it's independent on if Pearson stays or not. Otherwise, I will constantly go because Bristol City just keep me going. They are just my team. They are my football team, and whether they're good or not, that doesn't matter because they will keep me going. Through thick and thin, I will support them. I'll have rants about it on YouTube. I don't care. I might break down. I might break down like I did yesterday, not on camera, but I did break down against Coventry in the middle of the game. But I do not care. If Bristol City might be in League Two a few years' time, or they might be in the Premier League, in the Europa League. We're just that kind of team. Yeah, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows?
You could be anywhere. You could be anywhere at the moment. But can you imagine we got in the Premier League and you got in the Europa League and Newcastle just still stuck there? That'd be absolutely incredible, absolutely embarrassing for us. It'd be great for you. But got Gallagher, Kennedy's a great shoot. Proper midfield, pitch like a player on a peat bog, and yours. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is there. So yeah, gone back a few years, but heard of it. Alan Kennedy was class when he played for Liverpool as well. Absolutely fantastic player. So yeah, I was going to say wrap up there, and because it's been going on for nearly an hour sort of thing, and it's been fantastic chatting at the championship. And before I let you go, did you enjoy coming on my show?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me on, John. And yeah, talking about the championship, the craziness of the league.
Crazy league.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on, John.
You two, one question before you go. Where do you find you on your channel, and what do you do?
So you can find me on Robin Stalk there. It's there. And yeah, you'll expect Bristol City content. I'm trying to do live streams, but that might be that's in the balance. Match previews, match day vlogs. When we get back into the grounds, obviously match day vlogs as well. And just genuine Bristol City stuff. Also talk about a bit of the championship and also a bit of Newcastle if I do get the chance.
Do you know what, Anuruddha? You're 13-year-old, right? And you're going to take over my job one of these days. I'm no longer doing this. You're going to do this in the next 30, 40 years. I can actually see you doing it, mate. I can actually see you doing it. And you know what? Such talent. Get this guy unsubscribed. Follow him on Twitter on H Robbins Talk. And look at end of the day, you'll chat football, and he loves Newcastle fans. And just get following. That's all I can say. But Anuruddha, have a fantastic evening, my guy. And thanks for coming on. And we got to do it again, man.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Absolutely.
You take care, my man. Have a great one.
Yeah, bye.
See you later.